Hey there lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie, where I love to talk all things makeup. And if you are going back to school, whether that's high school or college, then this video is for you because we are going to be doing a back to school look, how to get ready in just a couple of minutes. So let's get into it. Now, if you are anything like me, then you had a million activities that you were doing before school, after school, during school, and sleep was a priority. That means that makeup may take a little bit, a seat on the back shelf there, and we don't always prioritize how we look. And sometimes, I was in the mode of I would be waking up 2-3 hours before I woke up so I could get my hair and my makeup done. So whichever side of the spectrum that you are on, this look is for you so that you can look put together, fresh, cute, and ready for school. So we're only going to be using a handful of products here because whether you're doing your makeup at home, then maybe you're sharing a bathroom with some siblings, or maybe you're on the bus on your way to school and you've got to take all your products with you because you've got an hour-long ride bus. And in that case, you don't want a million products hanging out in your backpack, getting jostled around and getting broken. Or, college, you're driving to class and you gotta, in the parking lot or at stoplights, you're looking to put on your makeup. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that we cover up those dark circles around our eyes from staying up too late, studying for that test or that presentation that you've got going on today. We got that done. While that is drying, then we're going to come in, and if you are anything like me, you are going to have some wonderful pimple spots, and we'll get those covered up. No worries here. So I'm going to put just like a pump and a half of foundation on my hands, and I'm going to use my sponge. Now, I do like a brush, but I like a sponge when I need quick application because it can cover a large surface area, and while I'm applying it, it's already blending it out. So I'm just going to come in, and you can kind of just do this like haphazardly and not put too much thought or effort into this. And there, you've already got one side all done. Now we're going to come in and finish up the other side. I do suggest putting a layer of foundation because this is just going to help create a base for any spot concealing that you will probably most likely have to do. Because with stress comes breakouts. So you can do a couple of things at this point. You can either take your concealer or you can take your foundation, and we're going to put just a little bit extra on those spots that we have. I'm actually going to just take my foundation and I'm going to put just a little bit more because I know that my concealer is just a tad light. And so if I, were to put that right there in the middle of my face, I'm going to have this really light spot in the middle of my face, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to take just a little bit of extra foundation and I'm going to put it on there. I think I got a little too much around that one spot. And I'm just going to use my finger. You could use a brush too, but in a rush, I just use my finger. And because my foundation also has a little bit of more yellow in it, it's also going to help cancel out the purple of that scab I've got going on. So I'm not dabbing on it. I put it on and then I'm dabbing around the edges to blend it out into the rest of my face there. Then I will come in and I'll put my concealer. I just really like using my hands because when I'm in a rush trying to search through my brushes or grabbing the right one, it can just be really time consuming. It does make your hands a little bit messier, so just make sure you have like a little handy dandy rag on hand or makeup wipes or tissue. You can clean your hands up after. Now that I've got that, if you're anything like me that gets oily in your T-zone, you are definitely gonna want to powder at this point so that makeup lasts all day because school is long. and I don't want to get oily. I will get a little bit oily by the end of the day, but I can really help mitigate it against it by powdering. And I'm also going to make sure that I target powder this area where I have my pimples. And there, they're all gone. And they don't stand out. I am just really powdering. And then also, if you are oily like me, you are going to want to bring a puff and powder or have blotting papers or something to help control that shine throughout the day. Because after lunchtime, you're probably going to be looking a little oily. The dewy look is really cute, but it doesn't work if you're an oily girl like I am. It just does not last all day or stay put. So now I'm going to come in with my very handy dandy trusted Physicians Formula bronzer. I really like this one because it's great on my skin tone where I can go light-handed with it, or I can build it up and go heavier depending on the season that I'm in. Make sure you get yourself a really big bronzer brush so that, and blend it into that hairline really well, especially if you're wearing a ponytail like I am. But a big bronzer brush is also going to cover a large area versus a small one. And again, we're trying to save ourselves time here. And the biggest time saver, if you've watched my videos before, then you know that I'm going to come in and use that same bronzer brush and just put some bronzer on my eye. Give my eye a little bit of color, a little bit of definition, and that's enough for me. Maybe a little bit under my chin, and I did put some on my nose, but you don't have to put some on your nose. Now, you can do this before you powder, after you powder, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to be coming in with a lipstick that I depotted into here because really you want versatile products, right, that are going to work for you. And so I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush there. And also by doing it this way, I'm also going to match my lipstick and my blush. And there, you've got the perfect color. I know it was really intense in the pan, but see how nicely it is applying on my skin. And red is like the most natural color for blush because our cheeks naturally flush whenever it's cold, whenever it's hot. There, now I've got a little bit of color on my face. And then one of my other tricks I really like to do is to take a cream highlighter. I guess you could call this cream to powder. This is a Colourpop Super Shock highlighter, and this one's in Lunch Money, and I put this on my eyes for some brightness. And then you can go ahead and put this anywhere that you want some highlighter. So that's typically right here on the high points of my cheeks, the corner of my eye, a little bit right there, outer corner. Maybe I'll put a little bit here. But I go very light-handed with this because I am oily and I will just get that natural shine as the day goes on. But I want to try to go to school looking as fresh as possible. Now make sure you do not forget to brush up those brows. It's going to open up your eyes a lot more. Okay, before I actually come in with mascara, one thing I forgot is that I'm going to come in with a little bit of eyeliner because this is going to help give a little bit of definition to my eyes and help darken up my lash line. Now this is an extra step. You don't have to if you don't have time, but if you do have time, I mean, it helps just a little bit. You already didn't do very much with your eyes because you only put on highlighter and bronzer, right? No eyeshadow. So this just helps you feel a little bit extra. And really, once you start doing this, you're gonna get so fast at it that it'll be no time at all. won't be extra time for you to do your eyeliner. And I like to do it in black and brown because it is more natural and it's not so harsh. So that, you know, on those days that my eyes are a little bit more watery, then it does, when it takes it off, because my eyes are watering so much that it doesn't, I don't have this hole in my eyeliner. And last but not least, wipe off that excess foundation from those lips. You are definitely going to want to use a lip liner. I didn't use a lip liner for years and I looked ghostly, okay? My lips were not defined and it just looks funny. They look detached from your face. So make sure your lips are part of your face. So I'm coming in with that same color that I used on my cheeks. Now I'm going to use that on my lips. Get just a wash of color here. Because if I put a strong lipstick on, I know at least for me, I have to worry about, you know, if I'm going to have a morning snack or I'm eating breakfast on the bus or in my car on the way to class or walking to class, I'm going to be getting lipstick. My lips, when I eat, they kind of go like that. And so it's gonna make a line right on my chin. And I really don't want to walk into class with a line on my chin for my lipstick. So I just put a wash of color and away I go. And my lips are standing out from my face. They look like they're a part of my face. Here's your finished makeup look for school. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then go ahead and click on this video next where I show you how to take your day look to your night look. So if you've got some kind of, you know, concert going on after school or a dance, then you can take this really simple makeup look and turn it into that night gorgeous look. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!